And now, your starting lineup for the Young Bucks. Old Goats, a power forward from Argentina. The new Papa, 6'1", the Tank.
What's going on?
A 5'10", holy shit. White Walker came in.
Got attacked.
A 5'10" small forward from Tombstone University, crashing the boards. The Ogre. The goat in the middle, from Butler Ridge, 6 feet tall, or maybe 5'11". Big G.
What up, everybody?
A 5-foot-something guard from Davie, by way of Hialeah. The veteran, the bum, I said. Where are you? There you are. And I am a 5'9" point guard from Hialeah, dishing out the assist. The goat. Welcome.
Go Cougars.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Let me straighten out my White Walker here.
I told you I saw that thing moving. You guys didn't listen to me. He attacked me.
I thought that was a joke, bro. I thought you were. Holy shit.
They told you winter was coming.
I think you have photon torpedoes in the rear there.
Holy shit. All right. Thanks for joining me, guys. I did that basketball intro, so let's start with a little bit of basketball, bro. What's up with them Heats, dog?
Hell yes.
Awesome story, guys.
I mean, that's just great basketball that they've been doing, man. Just playing ball. Nobody hogging nothing. Everyone putting in like equal numbers, and it's just working beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It's looking dope. It's like I told y'all before we started, it's like very similar to what happened to Boston with the young team. Like once they lost the stars, they're like, fuck it. They stepped up. We got all these second years like stepping up, like not having no fear during the fucking. Goddamn, you got lightning back there.
Yeah, you have it for sure.
That's like real. You're outside?
I'm in the pool area.
Oh,
I got a little roof over me.
But that's real fucking lightning?
Yeah, it's not special effects. My budget's not that big, bro. You know, chill.
Wow. So what are y'all input on the Heat? What do y'all see that's happening? Like what's?
Yeah, I look at that team, and it's such a great balance of veteran guys. They have the shooter, Tyler Hero. I mean, it's just a great mix. The superstar, Jimmy Butler, doing a great job. I think it's a great mix, and they're looking pretty badass, man.
I don't know if y'all saw during Game 3, they were like talking about some stats, like about the Godfather, Pat Riley. Like all of these are like at the end of draft picks. They're like 30, 34th, fucking second round motherfucker. He just knows how to look for these players, and he goes finds, and he knows what the fuck he's been doing. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, it all starts with him. Like
absolutely,
he's kept Spoelstra in there, even when people were like, fire that motherfucker. Like Spoelstra's got a fucking record. He's up there with some of these greatest coaches. Like people are like sleeping on him, but like he's sneaking in there, and like people are not even noticing. He's got.
Yeah. Oh, I told you that guy keeps attacking, and you don't believe me.
Winter is coming on you, bro.
I'm gonna do Arnold Stark on this guy if he tries me one more time.
God damn.
I lost Tank too somehow, so I don't know.
His baby. He had to go.
Yeah, man. But I will tell you, it's exciting because I think they legit got a chance to at least go to the finals. I think they're better. I think they're better than Toronto or Boston. I think this was the bigger of the three teams that were left for them. This was the one, Milwaukee, that I was worried most about.
Definitely.
Oh, number one seed, right?
Right.
Yeah, well,
Best
right.
player, MVP, defensive player, number one team. Like, I don't know, man. And I think the Lakers gonna have problems. That matchup, like that team is fast, man. They're like Lakers got big boys, and Houston's like fast shooters, and I don't know, man.
They're already down, right? They're down 1-0 already.
They got their ass whooped. I think a big thing that people are not looking at, because there's no more home court advantage. I think teams like the Heat, that factors in a lot with these big superstar teams, like the crowd energy. Like they don't have that. No, that's just
Yeah, I agree. And the Heat's a total NBA bubble team. Like this, they were built for this.
They're playing street
Built
party
for it.
pickup game shit, and like everyone's just playing fun, like doing their. No one's complaining about fouls. They get fouled, they just get up, keep going. And they're just playing like fucking in some groove right now. You can see Jimmy Butler's always serious.
Yeah.
He's like a Joy Lucky guy. He's just focused. None of them are shaving. They're all fucking scruffy looking. They're just on a mission, man. You can tell. Like,
I got a theory, bro, about what happened with the Heat. Tell me if you guys believe. Tell me if you think this is true, because I have a theory. They've been out for like 5-6 months now, right? They haven't been playing at all. Those rookies, Nunn, Hero, those guys are basically second-year players now. And you're coming back not in a rookie season. They're playing like it's not their rookie season anymore.
Right.
Right.
And they normally hit that rookie wall.
They didn't have one.
They didn't have one. So they're super fresh now when it counts.
Yeah.
Good point.
Let me ask you guys a question. Why do you think Jimmy Buckets has been on so many teams, being obviously a super talented player and competitor? Why has that guy been on so many teams?
I don't think there's like a specific thing. It's like he said, like this organization is different than anything that he's been in. Sometimes you got to find that little groove. It might not be some shit that specifically being done at each team, but then look, you normally want to team up these superstars with superstars, make this dope ass team, and he just got put in with this group of guys that it all fits.
I hate to say this because I know the GOAT absolutely hates the New England Patriots, and so do I, but there's a component to great franchises, and the Heat are like that, like the Patriots, that when you walk in there, you start doing everything the way they do it, Riley way, the Spolstra way, and you change. You're not that player you used to be, you know? And I think that's what great organizations do. They make maybe kind of players that weren't that great before, and had problems or had issues, and they make them great. And I think that's what the Heat do.
And I think also people, because of the Big Three era, they just didn't look at the Heat that way no more, because they look like, oh, you motherfuckers are doing like the alpha team shit, building shit, but like they forget, like I said, the Pat Riley's been building teams off these players, like just bringing in like Tim Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning, and PJ, like all these players that he creates this organization, kind of like Popovich's like era, like they were playing basketball evenly. They were stars, but like they were just all shooters. Ginobili, Duncan, fucking Robinson, goddamn Parker, everybody was just it just worked. Like they're like these motherfuckers are like winning, and no one's even seeing that the Spurs are always number one and always going far, like, but they never get talked about.
Right, and I think that's also another reason LeBron couldn't be here forever, right? Because he's just too all-encompassing. It's all about him, and that's not what like you said, the San Antonio Spurs, they're not like that.
Basketball.
Yeah, the Heat, they're not like that. They're about team, and there's no one guy bigger than everybody. Right. That's another reason I think LeBron wouldn't or didn't last here as long as he did, right?
Plus the young factor, I think a lot of the veterans have families and kids, and they've been like getting stressed out in this bubble. And these young motherfuckers, they don't give a shit. They're probably playing Fortnite or goddamn Madden or something in their hotel rooms and getting fucked up, and then they play like. But the other ones are having other stress shit that's probably factoring in that they never had before. And then the whole home court advantage, there's no more of that shit.
Yeah.
Game 1, game 2, game 3, the same plays. It don't fucking matter. And then technically we got the home court advantage because we're still in Florida.
Yeah, I think Riley has changed a little bit, and it may be because of Spolstra, because in the past it's always been veteran teams. And you notice they're playing, Hero in there. They have Bam Adebayo there. Riley is about veteran teams only, but he's having to use in some of these things. I think it's the difference because he gives them freshness, athleticism, and a spark. Something maybe those older teams haven't had.
I think with Buckets too. Yeah, he's been like one of the main players of each team, but he was always kind of like number 2 to Rose to Wade. Like he was. Now he's like kind of the star, but he also has equal like players that he's just sharing, and they're playing ball out there. They're playing like some ball shit, and it's working beautiful. And I like his attitude because I follow him, and he had an interview. They're like, "What's your favorite moment so far with the Heat?" He's like, "The All-Star game, just seeing Bam's face becoming All-Star and seeing him realizing that he is that good. That's my favorite moment right now. Like just that answer alone just shows you what kind of motherfucker he is. It's like he brought that whole vibe because they're all having fun and they're probably working hard, but they're having that pressure. They're trying to like they're not playing with it. They're playing like, hey man, we're here to win.
And who did they give up, if anybody, or was it draft picks to get Jimmy Butler? I know they had to trade.
It was probably a big.
Exactly. It's like, and they do pretty decent moves that don't, that always work out too. The sign of a good organization, right?
And some of these players they got really good. Like Jones stepped up, and then you get little old veterans like Crowder, Iguodala.
Yeah.
It's so crucial, man. Like it's crazy.
They had to get rid of that other guy. Obviously, I forget his name. What was the guy's name? The guy they shipped off to Portland, the center, Whiteside. Yeah.
And look, Adebayo became an All-Star.
Exactly.
So crazy. He's playing so good, bro. It's like ridiculous. Like, so nuts.
Dude,
and Duncan's retarded. Yo, what happened to the GOAT?
He's switching like locations and shit.
He got scared of the lightning. He tried to act up. The lightning scared the shit out of him.
Dude, but how cool is this, bro? Because coming into the season, I was telling people at work, I think this is a 4 seed, bro. I think this is a 4 seed.
Yeah, it was a tank season kind of shit.
And people are like, no, bottom, 5. I'm like, no, this is a 4. And at most, I had them losing here in this round, and then to see or to know that there will be at least Eastern Conference Finals, dude, that's like a fucking Christmas present right now.
Now I can even see them going all the way because it was like you. I was like, yeah, they might make the playoffs, but they don't have nothing to go all the way. But now I'm like, shit, I don't know, man. The good teams are showing signs of like little like problems, and then this seems like, yo, they're just getting better, and they're fucking showing people that they're better. And I think they got something to prove because they got counted out.
I think they make the finals. I think they make the finals.
They swept the Pacers.
They're about to sweep the fucking Bucks.
And they got to Sim 3-0. It would be unlikely that they swept them, but imagine if they swept the first
7-0 in the playoffs so far.
I don't remember the last time that a team did that.
Dude,
swept both series.
And it works out standing out more than other. Maybe like 22, 30 foot, but like it's kind of like an even kill, like 12 here, 11 there, 10 here, 8 there. It's like everyone's doing shit. Like,
dude, imagine how perfect this is, right? You sweep them, and then the Celtics and the Raptors go 7, right? Yeah. They go the full thing, dude. How sweet is that? But very next night they gotta play. 2 nights later they gotta play.
Does that affect it or make it better because they rested or they come back rusty? That's like
that's always the age-old argument, right?
No, these guys are hungry, bro. You can see it. They're hungry.
Yeah. Do you ruin the momentum where you're hot and moving, or rest and recover? That's always been, whatever sport, baseball, football, basketball, that's always been like a topic, right?
And it was Butler that sent out all those portable basketball sets to everybody during the pandemic. Get everybody.
I think greats and great teams always have to face that. They have something to fucking like. They have that pressure of being great and have to be good. Like they have no kind of pressure. Like they have no expectations from them. So like they're playing with no. Like you expect LeBron to get to the finals. You expect these teams because everyone, hey, you guys better fucking go all the way. And
I think they call that playing with house money, right?
Yeah, bro. It's like it's easy.
But dude, you look at the way. Holy shit! You look at the way the team is built with the shooters and bam. I mean, it's a damn deadly ass team, dude.
Yeah. I think us as fans have been getting shocked too. We're like, what the fuck? Where did Hero come from? Where did Duncan come from? Like. Jones is doing crazy shit. I'm like, yo, it's crazy. It's so crazy. And I think Giannis got hurt. He got hurt after that first quarter, and he wasn't
in the first quarter.
I think he's gonna be fucked up game 4 or whatever.
What did I miss, guys? We're just doing the Heat still?
Yeah, because you took off, so we're like,
you were in the trench there till We're not sure what you were doing.
Now you're like you're in some romantic lighting and shit. I don't know.
You went from the Death Star trench to I don't know what that is, a cabin or
I did not check the weather report, and
you almost got electrocuted.
yeah, I was getting rained on, and there was a lot of lightning, so I had to switch. And I'm inside now, so I'm safe. So ready to move on from the heat?
Yeah.
Did we talk
football
about
season starts in 4 days. I wanted to throw that out there real quick if we're keeping it on
What's
the
it, 4
sports.
days?
Like 4 or 5 days, right? What day is it today? Right on track.
I think
They
it's
start
next Thursday. They kick off next Thursday.
What kicks off next Thursday?
Football.
Oh,
Next
no.
Thursday.
Are they doing it just like NBA? No fans, just coaches and staff?
I think that varies, right?
Some teams.
Some
Yeah.
teams. Yeah.
Some teams.
You know what I was talking about to my
Some
friend?
teams like the Dolphins.
I think when we get back to reality, they're gonna keep the floors like empty like that, not have fans so close. I think they're gonna keep it like with that little bit like that hockey and that little. You see that little gap? There's no more like the benches there and the fans are right on the fucking. I'm like, yeah, that shit interferes with the game. You get hurt. Like I think they're when it starts back with fans, I think they're gonna keep that little gap from the first row's gonna be a little further back. I think they should do that shit. Like all the cameramen sitting on the fucking like too close. That shit's not needed there.
what do you guys think about Rosen getting cut?
DeMarcus. What is his name, dude? He was from
Rosen.
all right.
Third string quarterback Josh Rosen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this nigga, the basketball player, Marcus Rosen.
Yeah,
I don't even know that guy you're talking about.
The Dolphins cut Rosen, who was their third string quarterback. What do you think about that, Ogre?
The guy didn't have anything. Anytime he played, he didn't show me anything. So there's no loss. He started like 2 games last year, and he lost them both in the middle of the season when they started 0-5. They went to 0-7 with him, and then in the halftime of that 8th game, then they brought back this guy, and he had a great season to close it out, Fitzpatrick.
But dude, don't you think that guy?
He's a bum. Dude, he's a bum. I mean, they spent what, a 3rd rounder on him?
But dude, he's only played 2 seasons.
Oh.
He's only played 2 seasons. He's probably the best third string quarterback that any team has, and we got a very old quarterback and a very young, never taken a snap, injury-prone guy. I'm gonna go on the record. The third string quarterback is gonna come into play for the Dolphins this year. Of course, if the third string quarterback comes into play, you're fucked anyways. But
Right.
Well, you never know. You might do a Jeremy Lin, bro. Have a great year.
Yeah, I'm kind of. It's kind of probably an unnecessary move. The guy was super cheap because he was on a rookie contract still, his original contract.
it was a first round contract. It was a first round contract. So
yeah, but still relatively cheap compared. And remember, because they put limits on those first rounders too. So it's not even what it used to be. But anyways, I kind of agree. You have an injury-prone rookie backup, and you have a 55-year-old. He's not 55, but he's old.
Oh my
Old quarterback. Like, what does it give you? An extra roster spot? I mean, I don't know. I probably would have kept him.
it had to be money, right?
I don't even know. Again, I think he was relatively cheap. They're not old.
Yeah, no, you're past that. Like, there's a June 23rd date that if you can cut, then you save some money. So you're past that. You're not saving any money right now.
Well, maybe those rules have. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they changed.
I don't really follow. Like I like watching Dolphin games for Miami, but I don't really know. Like I haven't been following football for a while like that. Like I mean, I know who wins and the stats and the standings and the Super Bowl shit, but I don't know like players and what. So I don't even know. I can't even say anything about this shit.
Gio, you haven't missed a damn thing.
I mean, I watch them. I go to games. I go like 4 games a year with my friend. Like, look, speaking of the Dolphins, check this out. In 2011, I've been doing 305 logos with 3 the Heat logo and 5. 3 Dolphins logo, 5. I've been doing that shit forever. I've been making logos. I mean, obviously it's not my logo, but I made my own design with it. 2 years ago, I've been going to games. 2 years ago, I go to the stadium, bro. The whole campaign is 3 Dolphin 5. The sweaters, shirts, the Instagram has that shit. So I was talking to, I'm like, what do you guys think? I want to like talk to a lawyer and see if there's anything there because I made that logo a long time ago, bro, and I got Instagram timestamped. Amari Stoudemire with me wearing a shirt, like, and now they're using that shit. You think I got something, or because I stole their logo, it's technically not nothing there, or what? Like that shit's all over the place. Look, there goes shit right there in the top left. Like 2004, I made that logo top left.
You got to check that out, man. You may have something there.
That's 2004, 2003, and then I did the real one, 3 Dolphin logo 5, which I have like somewhere around here. I'll show you right now. And now, bro, keychains, pins. I bought them all just so I could have it. So I want to talk to somebody. See, maybe, like, you know, with art, there's a fine line, but I'm like, I think I might have some shit. If anybody's watching this fucking knows attorneys, like, let me know, man.
Yeah, you got to check that out, man. You may have something there.
Right, and then what's the worst? Either nothing, or I get some kind of dough, or like fucking fantasy. They be like, hey, you want to design shit for us and come join our fucking graphic department or whatever the fuck. But I don't know, man. I feel like it's a fine line, but I feel like with art, you can get away with shit like that. Look, this is a logo I made a long time ago.
Oh, that's badass.
And that's what they're using now. And I have Instagram posts from 2011, and they just started selling this shit 2018, 2019. So I'm like, I've been like kind of like, don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to start some shit up and I fucking have to pay up some shit. Or
well, that's the thing, because if you use their logo without their permission and you did something to
that's the fine line. That's like very.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't said nothing. But my friends, the ones like, bro, go fucking talk to the lawyer. If you see that motherfucker get excited, then I mean he thinks there's something there.
Damn, go. You may not have to. You may not post this podcast until he checks with the lawyer.
Nah, fuck it, dog.
It's out there in the universe already. I think that they'll probably stick to that. Like, hey, man, we never gave you permission to use our logo. But
the fact is, like, hey, you're taking my concept. You're obviously using exact. And I'm on ESPN. When the Heat won, I went to the parade. I was inside the arena. And I'm holding up a towel. And I'm screaming. And I'm on ESPN with a 3 Heat logo 5. I had 3 Death Star 5, 3 Miami Heat 5, 3 Marlins.
you have
Like my thing. I'm
You
like,
have
copy. Huh?
you have evidence.
And it's on Instagram timestamp because, you know, I posted it. So it's like,
Yeah, talk to somebody, bro. You never know.
I'm like, the 305 thing is my thing. Not the Dolphin shit, but like, you took my 3 logo 5 thing. Like, that's what I've been doing for years. Like, 3 Dolphin. So I'm like, that's what I want to, like, use as my main attack. Not that you stole the Dolphin shit, but more like, my 3 logo 5 shit is kind of my thing. Like,
You should see if that's trademarked already.
yeah. And if it is, maybe I could take those motherfuckers and be like,
Yeah.
you know. But whatever, that's non-relevant Dolphin shit, but that's the only thing I know about Dolphins, so I had to speak about something.
Anything else on football before we move on to the Marlins real quick?
Hey, you still think he's a bust, Tua?
Huh?
That is going to be proven.
That's for GOAT. He had said that he thinks he's going to be a bust.
I mean, if I was a gambling man, which I'm not anymore, I would bet that, yeah, the odds are in. I already did a whole show on it.
Yeah.
The odds are in his favor to be a bust. What would be surprising is if he's not.
If you look at the history, and like you said, if you were a gambling man, you'd have to go with, hey, he's going to get injured because that has been his history. But obviously, as a Dolphin fan, I'm hoping the history will not repeat itself and that he's not going to be a bust. But
our history,
the
we've always had defense. It's our problems like the offense. Our defense has been, like, you know, since Zach Thomas, Jason, like, but we haven't had good offenses. When we had those receivers back in fucking early 90s type of shit, what was it? Cooper, Clayton, all those motherfuckers, like, we haven't had offense, man.
That's been the problem. There's never been any consistent offense. So you have Tannehill would complete 21 of 26 passes for 300-something yards, and then next week he gets sacked 16 times. So, like, never enough consistency. You know, you run. Look at Balaj, Caitlyn Jenner Balaj that we just cut. The guy came on.
Oh, he's back, by the way.
Huh?
We traded him to the Jets. He failed the physical, and he came back to us. I don't know if they cut him after that.
They cut him today.
They cut him today? Wow.
Why would Gase want to have that guy that he wouldn't even give him playing time when he was here?
Well, no, he gave that guy playing time when he was here. Remember he had that big game against the Vikings that he had like a.
Yes, but then he didn't play the next week.
So I guess he was. That guy's getting desperate, man.
You got to remember all the behind the scenes shit. Have like the show Baller shows you like there's so much other drama going on, like owners fucking this, and there's probably so much shit we don't know about either. It has nothing to do with the game that affects who we bring here. Who like fuck, I don't give a fuck. He's better. I'm gonna bring this motherfucker just despite you. Like money, business, beef, hoes. He fucked my wife. This and that. Like there's so much shit we don't even see happening. Like.
The Rosen thing, it's got to be money, dude. There's no way they wouldn't want to keep a young third string guy that could still maybe develop with having this old guy and this young guy that gets like the same injuries like our grandparents get, like hip injuries and shit. I don't know, whatever. How about the Marlins, man? The Marlins, they haven't been playing well last couple games, but they're in the playoff mix. They just traded for Starling Marte this week. They did a couple other little moves, so it looks like they're not all in, but they're kind of getting aggressive, trying to make that playoff push. Anybody keeping up at all, or not high on them?
The only thing I like about the Marlins is going to the stadium. That shit, just get drunk and walk around. I never sit down; I just go walk around. And shit.
That stadium's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat the Rays today 7-3. But to be honest, I typically don't follow baseball. I do look at the Marlins when. Any baseball that I do see, it is the Marlins, but not typically.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm very casual. Like I'll just go around and look at the standings like once a week and see what's going on. But I'm really casual.
Yeah, I really don't follow. I just want to make sure if they win, I'm like, hell yeah, Miami, motherfucker. But besides that, I'm like,
well, they're sitting at 500. They got this
Are they in the
guy.
playoffs? If the season was over today, are they in the playoffs?
Right now they are.
I only watch baseball when I go to the game.
This guy's like their phenom that just came up.
His name is Six Toe?
Yeah. Interesting name.
10 toes.
So they got some kind of cool shit going on.
And I really don't know about that guy. Can you tell me more about this dude?
He's like a top prospect that they have, and the guy throws regularly 100 miles an hour. His changeup's like 90 miles an hour. He's got a couple other hard pitches. He's supposed to be the best thing since Jose Fernandez, or possibly better.
Some Kenny Powers shit.
Quite the praise.
That's what they say. I mean, check him out if you get a chance. He's supposed to be the real deal. All right. I'm going to move on, guys, unless you have anything else on the local sports scene that you want to talk about or whatever.
Other sports were going on besides NBA, to be honest. You're like just telling me shit I had. Holy shit.
You're getting your news right here, live, dude.
Perfect. You need me. I'm like the catalyst because you guys are on top of that shit. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Hey, Gio, have you heard about any flying objects?
Like, we have a team in Miami?
Yeah. Seriously, there's a lot of flying shit going on. What I want to talk about is in Japan. Let me see if I can find it. They were testing out a flying car. Anybody hear about this shit?
I heard about it, but I also heard it's like super expensive. Like it's not like anybody can have a flying car. It's gonna be like and it's like not flying mad places. Like they just went up and like.
Finally, the Jetsons arrived.
Yeah, right. Somebody posted a meme with the Jetsons, like fucking George Jetson's like on a Zoom meeting conference call. His son's like Elroy's on a fucking like Apple Watch talking, and then this bitch is doing some other shit, some workout on TV. I'm like, yo, they already knew this shit was happening. Look at that shit. Like, that shit probably goes like up, and you need like all this other shit to make it go. Like,
it looks like a helicopter.
That's like that jetpack. It's cool, but you need to have a fucking hose tied to you. You can just go over water and shit. It's like,
you need hose tied to you? What?
Well, you see those people that be floating on jetpacks, but they're like tied to some big ass tube. So it's like, fuck fuck are
We're
gonna
gonna
do?
talk about jetpacks in a minute because that
And
fits
hope.
in. You heard about that? The jetpack thing?
I mean, I don't know, maybe.
We're gonna talk about it in a minute. But the flying car for a second. Can you imagine the fucking accidents that there was gonna be, dude? Like when like everybody can get a flying car, you know?
It wouldn't work.
People run out of gas. Like you're flying, you run out of gas. You know, that's a major problem when you're flying, dude.
Yeah.
Engine lights,
Crashing,
accidents,
crashing on to the people that can't afford the flying car who are still driving in the streets.
or somebody's house.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy.
I think Elon Musk talked about it. He's like, it's just, it won't work. He's like, I think just with the way it has to lift off and all this shit, like you can't, it just wouldn't work. He was saying like, we're already doing the way we should travel. Like we have ways up and down to hills and bridges and shit, but flying cars, it wouldn't work.
No, you would need two lanes that cars go one way in the air, lanes where cars go the other way in the air.
If it does work, it's like 100 years from now when it's like the
Crazy.
fourth generation of this idea. But not in our lifetime, I don't think we'll see traffic flying cars. We'll get probably old age, we'll see like the one that's fucking finally moving along. But by the time it's like a traffic thing, it'll be like 20 generations down. Like,
Yeah.
they'll figure it out.
Do you get a driver's license or do you get a flying license?
You probably need a special like pilot, I would imagine.
By that time, everything's Tesla. You're not driving shit. It's like iRobot. You just hop in the car and it takes you. No one drives.
That's what I was about to ask you. How would you feel about that if
Autonomous flying cars.
I was scared of talking shit. I would do a Tesla. I want to sleep on the way to work. Shit, I'll do it.
you feel safe turning your life over to a robot?
No, but I do a whole bunch of other shit is not safe and good. So fuck it.
There's been certain times when I'd be safer in a robot's hands than
Yes,
driving.
For sure.
I would agree with that.
I want an override where I could say, all right, you know what, I'm taking over. You know, like I wouldn't want to go full autonomous. That would kind of probably.
Well, yeah, I've seen footage of like a guy in a Tesla that I guess had the car had full control, and he fell asleep. And they were trying to pull over the car, and he was completely asleep, and the car was driving. And they're trying to look into the car, ring the horn, all this kind of stuff. The guy was dead asleep. Imagine if the car drives itself and you got nothing to do, pay attention, you kind of kick back and fall asleep. That would kind of
even with my car. I have a car of the year 2020, and it's like it has that fucking helper shit. So like if I'm going this way without a signal, it kind of moves me back, and I'm kind of like swerving. I'm fighting with it because if I don't put on a blinker, that shit pulls me back. So like even mine, I got a Honda, like it already has that feature. Imagine your car in a few years, like shit, they're gonna have it, man. It's gonna be. And all these guys,
Jeep Metro, bro.
I've always wanted to and change the emblem to my name and shit.
Yeah.
But they shitty cars, all like goddamn.
They get great gas mileage. We talked about it last episode, right?
No shit. I'm not sure. Like they still make cars. I don't think they make cars anymore. They're done, right?
Yeah, this would have to be an old one. If you wanted one today.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
No, hell no.
We talked about that shit. It was like a 3-cylinder. Okay, speaking of flying objects, I think both the Bum and Ogre told me about this Los Angeles. Let me look this up real quick. Jetpack situation. I don't know if anybody heard about this thing where a couple of pilots report seeing a guy in a jetpack.
I read the article. I don't know much about it. I'll be tripping the fuck out.
Yeah, I heard the FBI is kind of narrowing that down because there's also now they're saying that it may have been a mannequin on a jetpack, but I don't know how you could get a mannequin on a jetpack and control that.
Like a drone?
So, right, they said maybe it could be a drone. So now they're not sure if it was an actual man, a mannequin, or what, but that is pretty weird. I hadn't heard that one, 2 separate planes on final approach seeing a guy at 3,000 feet.
But it's just verbal right now. There's no visual confirmation. There's no video, no pictures, no nothing, right? It's just
I think the tower that they radioed into also saw it, but I'm not sure.
That's tough. I'm like the motherfucker had to see it to believe it. And
They definitely saw something. Now, whether it was a real guy on a jetpack or a drone with a manic, whatever it was, they saw something.
well, you know, all of us have seen something in the sky, and we automatically like, oh shit, a UFO. I'm like, it could have been anything, but we already just automatically that they probably did the same shit. Like,
Because those pilots take very good care of their reputation, and they won't go and call the tower and say, "Hey, I see something," unless they're absolutely sure. Because then they look crazy, and they could lose their pilot's license. So,
well, I feel like just like in every field of any expertise, it's like motherfuckers that love partying. Motherfuckers do drugs, and I think some pilots do drugs, and then that could be, an incident. It can't be like not even put into the scenario. That's a possibility. Like I know doctors, teachers, fucking people that go to church. Like everyone fucks around, so like you never know, bro. That guy could have been last night partying in Cleveland, taking shrooms, and then he's driving today to plane. He's like, I saw a jetpack. Are you sure? It could have been a Pelican or like you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
This article says it was Iron Man.
Of course.
okay.
But without visual or video, like, man, I don't know.
Well, what was kind of amazing when I read more about the article is the fact that there's a couple of companies that build real jetpacks for people. It's like, it isn't something of the future. They actually have working jetpacks that you could get.
That's what I was talking about earlier, but they're very limited. Like you have to be either very close to the ground, you can go straight and back. There hasn't been one that's like, look, you can fucking just fly like Iron Man, take off without most of the jetpacks that I've seen have like strings or something to hold them.
Yeah,
and it's only like so far before you run out of gas or whatever tank.
Limited fuel is a big problem.
But nobody's been up there like flying around like goddamn Rocketeer, man, or what's his name? The Rocketeer?
This one was seen at supposedly 3,000 feet. That's not chump change.
He could have been doing some DMT last night, and he's just getting the little side effects.
I think that was Super Dave Osborne.
Damn, Super Dave.
Super Bowl back in the day.
That's the one I was thinking about.
Damn, why are you dating us, man?
We thought we'd have these like everybody, these and the flying cars, and here we are in the year 2020, and we still don't have fucking jetpacks. Only this guy in Los Angeles with his man.
Hey, but you never know. Look how long it took from the 1920s to like 1980 when shit just started like building from the 80s and forward. We came up with so much new shit. So you never know. Our little fucking jump might be like in 2025, and we just start making some crazy shit that year. Like, look, we got cars that drive themselves now. We got watches we can talk to motherfuckers in videos and shit. Like, it's crazy.
What's crazy, dog, is the amount of technology that we've seen in the last 100 years or so, which really is just a blip on the radar of all human history. And dude, just think 100 years ago, I could be off on this shit, but like cars were like super new. Airplanes, right, were probably not even around that much. Forget about a fucking computer. And dude, just in the last 100 years, we can fly anywhere, we can drive anywhere, we can do all kind of calculations and record shit. And
you've heard them say like the phones now have more technology than the fucking ship that went to the moon. Suppose like what they had as far as technology, that our phone has GPS, fucking all this bullshit. Like we have more right now in the palm of our hands than we did.
But it's funny because it's different people have different perspective on that. There was an article by Michael Collins, who was one of the guys that landed on the moon, and he wrote an article that said they promised me moon bases and Mars colonies, and all I got was an iPhone. Basically kind of saying that in all of this time since we landed on the moon, really, we've only improved very little from his point of view, So it depends who you are, right, where you think about that.
There's a camp that will say Roswell was real, they did capture technology, and that's why we've seen this boom in crazy technology like this. Just what we're doing right now, dude.
I think a lot of reasons why we don't see a lot of it evolve because just like we spoke about sports, this all falls back to this. So imagine electrical cars smart. That's like evolving, but fossil fuel companies not gonna be like, hell yeah, let's do that, get rid of us. So they stump a lot of things trying to come up. There's a lot of new medicines and different things like
Yeah.
like the guy who made the 5 hour energy drink, he's like some Indian dude. He made like 3.5 billion off that shit. And he said, I gave up 90% of my money to I bought like a whole bunch of warehouses and I want scientists that are trying to invent shit that will help the poorer half of the world. He's like, if it's about money and being cool, I don't want it. It has to be about like food, hunger, and electricity and power, like shit like that, and medicine. And that motherfucker was on that, but half of his shit don't take off because the powers that be are gonna accept that shit. Like pharmaceutical companies, there's a lot of holistic shit that works. You feel me? Like ozone shit, but they're like, you think they're gonna let that go because it's water and like oxygen to make it, but they rather you like, nah, take this and this and this and that, like, and they make the food.
And a lot of that technology has really been put on, like Facebook and social media and things that really haven't. I mean, those are important things in their own way, but not necessarily advanced us tremendously. Certainly putting us on Mars, right?
Now, I also am a believer of if I have, which I don't, but I have pretty up to date. If I have this, they have 5 or 6 models way ahead of this that they're just holding back, dude. They're not giving.
Of course, if we can use Google Maps and zoom into your backyard, what the fuck can they do?
Yeah.
That's free for everybody. I could go right down, zoom into your backyard, see your parked car from a few months ago. Oh, that's us. They got probably the live shit that they can zoom the fuck in. And I say Google Maps, and I'm scrolling on my Instagram, and Google Maps pops up because they're listening to Siri, to fucking Alexa, to this shit right here. I be thinking about shit and it pops
heat
up.
signatures if they want them.
Wow, they're already here. Like my cousin was scared of using this shit. Like, yo, I don't want to get caught. I'm like, yo, if you already have online banking or been school email, you're already in this matrix that you're worried about. Like,
yeah. There's I remember when the O.J. Simpson murders took place, there were people, like serious military people, that said, we have satellites that basically track everything. And they could actually go back and actually view that area and see exactly what they what happened. But they don't want to show that technology. They don't want to admit to that level of surveillance to freak people out and also to let our enemies know about it, right?
Plus, because of their own rules, they can't because it doesn't work like that in our system. Like that's illegal because you weren't like technically allowed. So it's like they fucked themselves up. So,
but it looks like a National Enquirer, headline, right? You're at the checkout. Military knows who killed, Nicole Brown Simpson, right? But when you start talking about it, it's like, wait a minute, they do have they're monitoring everything.
That's what I thought was genius about Men in Black. They used that. Like they would go to the Enquirer to get their info because it was like the real shit. And people were like, oh, it's a fake news. And that was genius. I was like, yo, it's true. What if all this bullshit we see? Like that's the real news. And this papers, the shit that they're feeding you is crazy.
Well, that would be fucking crazy, dude. If they could rewind the tape, and go, let's go back to, X amount of years ago. What was going on? That would be fucking crazy. Now, it's easy for me to believe right now, if they wanted to zoom into my house and find my heat signature right now, where I am right now, piece of cake. I know they could do that. But to rewind the tape, that would be way more impressive. But I could see where if they had that, they'd be like, all right, we're not bringing that shit out for Nicole.
What happens is just like CIA that shit. Like there's not enough staff. There's so much other shit. We're like so not on the radar. Like they're doing that, but to where they need it. But like if they wanted to, we would. But we're not even like there's not enough staff for the people doing that shit to run it on. So only if shit pops red flags, they're like they can come over here and fuck it.
And these companies are not going to want to advance this technology. You're not going to upgrade next year when the new phone comes out. So they're going to hold back on technology that's that advanced.
Like the TVs, we have 4K. That's like in the middle of the full spectrum of the visual shit that they could go, but they're not doing it right away. They're gonna be like, today we're gonna put out voice request shit, and next year they put out texting with swiping. Like they're waiting. They probably had that shit. And they just hold it on.
I mean, if you look at it, it depends really if you think it's really an advancement, right? Like I remember in the mid to late 1980s, you had those big ass Motorola phones that was the cell phone, right? Big ass thing. They called it a brick.
Right.
And I remember that almost all some of my friends had actual car phones. And that was like the latest technology. That was like the mid to late 1980s. And then the first iPhone comes out in like 2007? That's like a long haul when you look at it. And I think it's what you guys said. They hold that technology back and they spoon feed us and get their money's worth by every little update that they do.
America. That's what they've been doing since they made this place. Like, it's all about dope. They take over the land. That's why we go to war with these countries and we make rules like you can only get oil from us, all this shit. Like, we've been doing it. We look at everybody like, yo, weapons of mass destruction, you can't build nukes. We're like, we're the assholes we already shot to. Like, we already did it. People are like, fuck you guys. You guys are fucking the bad guys. Like, and we're the metidos. There's a fight over there. It's like you're fighting with your wife. Someone comes in like, hey guys, split this up, break this up, guys. I'm gonna stay here. Like, that's what we do. Two countries are fighting. But it's needed. But at the same time, they're like corrupted the way they're doing it. And then they just teamed up with all the rest of the corrupted people in the world, and that's how this place is, man. Planet Earth.
Go. Your show muted. Your mic is muted. Check your phone.
There you go.
There you go.
It's crazy.
A little bit of technical difficulties today, guys. Sorry.
How you get muted?
He was trying to mute me.
I'm sorry?
Shut up.
You showed next to your name, you had the mute symbol.
I wish I could mute Gio sometime.
Everybody.
He's on a roll. Let's roll, man.
Hey,
I'm with him.
we're all good. It's all good. Amazon drones. I wanted to talk about those real quick. They're making progress with that, dude. With delivering packages with drones. You guys heard about this shit?
I've heard about it. I didn't know they were.
I saw a rendering of a potential. They called it the Hive, and it's this huge structure with drones coming out of it. Obviously, this is like way in the future. It looked like a giant beehive with a bunch of drones coming out of it. It looked like crazy ass shit, but maybe we'll get there one day.
We will, man.
So this delivers to your front door.
Wow.
But what qualifies you for drone? He's like, I want a drone. I want a FedEx guy. Like, is it depending the location? Is it depending, like, what qualifies the drone drop off? Do you know any of those details?
Well, I'll read you a little bit of this article here real quick. Can you guys hear me okay right now?
Yeah.
All right. If Amazon Prime's one-day delivery is just not enough for you, the company may soon be able to speed up its delivery time to 30 minutes or less with the help of its Prime Air drones. The Federal Aviation Administration recently approved the Part 135 air carrier certificate for the Seattle-based company, meaning Amazon may use drones to deliver packages, the New York Times reported. Blah, 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 blah. So I guess this is probably going to be something you pay a little extra for, and you get that 30-minute delivery. Because you guys heard of like Amazon Now, right? Where you can get shit like in 2 hours.
I've used it before.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I mean, I got Prime, but not Now. What the hell is that?
Some people talking about that shit.
Is like a local warehouse. So maybe there's a warehouse in Broward, and they don't have everything, but you could get like some toiletries, some supermarket stuff, sodas, maybe a couple of toys, if you need a gift for a birthday party, and it'll be delivered to your house within 2 hours. Amazon Now. So this is probably
it's kind of like the Prime ones have the Prime logo. The Now ones, like, they're in their own little filter section. So like, there's certain items only in the Now, just like Prime. Some of them are third party. They're not Prime. The Now ones, the same shit.
Right. But
that's human nature. Look at that shit. We are not satisfied with 2-day delivery. Then now we're not happy with fucking 1 day. Now we want now, and now we're doing fucking 30 minutes. Like, we're the fucking poison in this earth. It's crazy.
Dude, that has killed me. And like at work, people like people expect now like all services to be like Amazon. You know, you're in a company, you order a computer, and they're like, yeah, like I expect it like Amazon. No, we're not Amazon. Okay, you work at this company, you get a computer. When I give it to you, it doesn't work like Amazon. Okay, but everybody's expectations now are that level. So everybody wants everything instantly.
I think Pixar hit it on the head a long time ago with Wall-E, bro. We're gonna be lazy, fat people that hit everything one button, don't do shit. And we're gonna destroy this planet, and everybody wants to do shit the laziest way. Hit a button, the straw's coming out of my chair. I'm just drinking. I just have a fucking Oculus on. They don't want to fucking move. Like you can order Publix online now. Everything's online.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Wall-E hit it on the head. I think they were like on the money. Like, crazy.
Ogre's like, hell yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, dude. No, I mean, I know what he's talking about. It's one of the Pixar's probably best movie, man. I mean, they nailed it.
Wow.
It's so sad, but that's how. Look, it shows. Look how we are as people. Like, it shows like trauma or tragedy happens, we get over it. Like in 3 months, it's like it's old news and we move on. A TikTok comes out and everyone forgets about the real shit. Like we're just fucking like monkeys in this fucking little like. It's crazy. That's why I don't watch too much media or news. Like the same shit.
Yeah, it's not good for you, man.
I just like buy bullets and have fun and just wait. Because shit's gonna go down. So stay prepared and have fun for now.
Do you think we're gonna see like shooting down drones becoming like a sport? If this technology takes off, dudes in their backyards, the drones coming by.
Everyone's gonna be hacking drones and bringing shit to their own house. Like,
Well, I know this, like, you know, birds hitting airplanes have been like a big problem, and they've created like different systems in different airports to deal with birds. Like some of them have like animals that chase away birds, others have like these other sensors, and they're creating stuff for drones because drones are becoming a problem to airliners. They've had close calls with drones in airplanes and things like that. So I know they're creating different things to try to like shoot down drones or disable them because of
they have flight restrictions now. Now there's flight paths for drones and you can't go in certain areas. Like,
well, no, it's always been like that, but there's people that they still fly them in, like the guy with the jetpack. You know, there's people that don't pay attention to that shit. They still do it.
But this is Amazon. There's going to be like a certain amount of height that you can go on these drones. You shouldn't go over that height. I think you'll be all right with that in commercial airliners and stuff like that.
but it's just supply and demand, bro. They're just giving the people what they want. They know they can make money because we're the ones that ask for it. It's so crazy.
You guys reminded me. You reminded me of the scene, Bum. You remember the scene?
Well, Umbrella with Indiana Jones when he opens it up with his dad, Sean Connery, and shit. The birds hit the plane.
Yeah, he reminded me of that with what he was talking about.
What part?
There's a plane coming and Sean Connery opens his umbrella, scares the pigeons, the seagulls off the ocean, and they hit the fucking pilot.
Oh wow! Wow,
Yeah.
I don't remember that movie.
Me neither, man.
I gotta see that again.
We're nerds.
No, and I've seen that movie, but like 20 years ago.
But I probably seen that one maybe out of all of them once.
Nah, I don't watch nothing once. I watch at least 3 every movie.
Yeah, I think that
Pretty
one
good,
I've
man.
only seen once.
With Sean Connery.
Because imagine when you're watching stuff, you're staring at one person or one thing, and then you watch it again, like, oh shit, I never saw this shit in the background. I never saw this motherfucker here. Like, you have to watch it twice so you pay attention to something else.
No, that's true.
I recently saw them with the kids. That's why I have it fresh in the memory. But that was pretty smart, dude. The plane's coming in to shoot them, and they're on the beach, and they're like, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And then Connery starts running with his umbrella, opening and closing it, and screaming, and then all the birds start flying, and they get into the propeller of the plane, and the plane crashes before it can shoot them.
That's a big problem, man. Well, that's what created the miracle on the Hudson. Remember that?
The plane that had to crash into the Hudson River.
Sully captain away.
Yeah, Sully. That plane ran into a flock of geese. and knocked out both engines, not just one.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
crazy, man. What's that?
Sully Burger.
Yes.
That was his name.
Yeah. Of course, Tom Hanks had the plan.
There was a movie on that?
Yeah, with Tom Hanks.
Oh, I didn't know it.
It was called
No.
Sully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Sully.
Are you guys Tom Hanks fans?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like him, but not everything. But
He was on a roll for a while that everything was pretty good, but his older movies now he's kind of figuring anything now.
What's up with this shit where they attack him? All the
Pedophiles,
huh?
the pedophile shit.
Yeah, the QAnon people and shit. They all attack him for the pedophilia shit. What's up with that?
Because supposedly, what I read, like he was on the list of whatever people that were at this shit, and then they went to Greece and they became citizens in Greece. It's not a crime for like that kind of shit. It's not like a punishment. So people were speculating, oh, they moved to Greece, they're fucking pedophile, they're in this ring, because I believe in this whole pedophile shit going on, but I don't know if all these celebrities are in it. I think they've been going to parties that's been happening and only certain people know, but since they're in there, they're kind of like fucked now, and they're like shitting bricks. A lot of these celebrities, like I think a lot of people at Epstein's house, not all of them, but there's like on this side of the house, only the people that know we're doing that shit, but they brought everybody, so there's fucking alibi, and now they're fucked because they're on the list, but they didn't have shit to do with that. But I think there's half and half. I don't think all of them are involved, but they were there. They're fucked now. And I think that was like their whole game.
Yeah.
On a note, real quick on that, they rescued a bunch of children, I think, between this week and last week that were lost or abducted or whatever. I forget the name of the operation, but it wasn't really like fucking mainstream news, dude. But they did rescue a bunch of fucking kids, man, that were like.
Dude, it should have been. It was like 39 kids.
Well, that's what the whole what's viral right now was going on. Like the media's not talking about this shit that's very important. That's why it's really spreading online. This new generation don't fuck around. They're gonna make changes because they're the motherfuckers that snorted condoms, eat Tide Pods, and they'll do it for the gram post. They're gonna go out there and protest. They're gonna go out there. They're not fucking around. Like they're a little different. They are wild, but because that way, they're not. They're gonna fucking do this whole exposing, and they're doing it. Look, they post, the shit goes viral, and like that shit works. They're putting shit out there, motherfuckers posted, like this pedophile shit is now on the map because the internet has done it, because the news has been trying to like, hey, like lower it down.
How did you hear about it? Did you hear about it in mainstream news or like social media first?
What, the whole Tom Hanks thing?
No,
the pedophile ring.
All these kids that got rescued this week. And
Someone posted about it on social media, and I checked it out because otherwise I wouldn't. I didn't see it anywhere.
That's how I learned about it.
That's why this generation's gonna do shit, because.
And then a couple days later, I heard about it on mainstream. But first, I heard about it.
Yeah.
They can't keep it quiet no more. They make too much noise. They're like, all right, let's fucking bring it out now. Like, because the media won't shut up.
Yeah. They were like, why is this shit not in the fucking front page of every newspaper right now? And then
in fact, I think that was the post I saw on social media saying, why isn't this making the rounds? And I read it. I'm like, dude, 39 kids, that's mega news.
But I didn't hear about that. Where were they rescued from?
Georgia.
The ones were somewhere around here in Florida, but they've got proof of a whole bunch of shit. Like Wayfair, the place that sells shit, they would have names of couches for like $20,000, and like 10 young, and they were like they were selling children, human trafficking through that shit. That people were catching on, and like a whole bunch of like things been popping up with these pedophile rings and shit's been going on. These many kids are missing, and no one talks about missing children. There's like 25 million missing each year, and it's becoming exposed. And like, there's so much shit popping up now. And then half of these celebrities are like, Ellen just quit. Tom Hanks does this weird shit. People are getting arrested. And people are starting to say like, these are half of the people who are on the list. The FBI is doing this shit and quarantining people to go arrest shit. So there's so much theories that it's like an Avengers trailer just came out, and everyone has a fucking goddamn.
Yeah, but
now,
this is
what's interesting.
This should have been big news.
Because John, the bum, is not really like big on social media. So you really haven't heard about it. You told me, right, Bum? You just said you really hadn't heard about it?
I have to admit, right, and this may have to do with my advanced age, I do not get my media from social media.
But do you look at it often or not? Like,
Not really.
But Randy, to debate, he knows about Epstein, right?
oh yeah. No,
Okay, so that's part of that. We just didn't know, but this is all a domino from that. So he has heard of it because it got blown.
the point I'm making is he's he's up on his news a lot, but not on social media a lot. And this particular story, we all heard about it, and he had it, but that's why, because he's not really on social media a lot, and this story didn't really make it big in the main, legacy media. It wasn't on CNN and all this shit.
Yeah, and
That's
and
my
not,
title.
and not to get too controversial, but there's like a lot of information out there that says that a lot of if you get your news primarily from social media, it's risky, right? Because a lot of that stuff is not checked out. Anybody could post it out there.
But it's been proven now that the news is the same thing. It's like
Absolutely.
we have to just go investigate ourselves, and I think that's what this generation is doing. Like, all right, fine, it might be fake, but motherfuckers are like, hold on, they have the access to be like, hold on, I'm like, who the fuck is this person? They look and they start digging.
You said it. You said it perfectly, Gio, because that's really what you have to do now. You really got to cross-reference your information to see if it really is true, right? Because all of these news media things, they love to lie one way or another, and you got to just fact-check them to know that you're getting the right information. Very good point. I agree.
Bro, I'll give you one. How many times has Kim Jong-un died or supposedly died?
You know what? I was going to bring that up, Go, because you have sent me a couple of, hey, so-and-so is on his deathbed. And when I do a search on that, I can't find it anywhere where any reputable news is reporting that. Now, does that mean that it's completely a lie? Maybe not, but there's got to be a reason why it's not being reported widely, right?
But that was Fox News, what I sent you.
That's fine. I'm just saying, Fox News, believe me, these other people want to make money too. And ABC News and CBS News, if this is a true story, they're going to want in on it too. They're not just going to say, oh, okay, Fox News has it. I'm not going to report on it. So,
have you ever seen the movie with this guy? What's his name? Whatever. Nightcrawler. He's about a guy who gets on scenes of crimes or crime, and he gets first on scene, gets good footage, and sells it to the news. They also show you footage that they know stirs emotion, does this, so they don't play things purposely. So it's hard because the news does that purposely. It's a business also.
Yes.
And it's tough because
they're in the business of making money, not telling the truth.
And they do specific clips that they pick, they edit it right. And that's why it stirs up shit and people put the real shit out. And it's like,
was that with Jake? I can't pronounce his last name.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that guy. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It is. He's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Great movie. And it shows you about. I didn't know people do that. There's like a whole squad of people that try to hear radios and hear about accidents, get there first and film. And then they have good footage before the media even gets there, and they sell that shit to the media.
Yeah, in the old days, all those reporters would have a police scanner.
Yeah.
And they'd be listening to that. And as soon as they hear a shooting or something, they drive over there, try to get there with the cops to, get on the story.
That shit. Yeah, they get the best shit.
Isn't this like Spider-Man shit or some of these superheroes have that little radio and they're like, oh,
exactly.
They hear the police shit, boom, they dip and they go intervene.
Yeah.
Yep, just like that, basically.
Yo, vaccine.
Speaking of superheroes, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, man. Last episode, we all talked about that, and man, that's heartbreaking, dude. I just saw Civil War last night, and there's a scene when he talks about his dad, and he's like, in my culture, when you die, that's only the beginning. And I was like, holy shit, how prophetic. That scene.
What movie was that? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Civil War.
Oh, yes.
There's a scene in Civil War where his father dies, the King T'Chaka. He's T'Challa. So King T'Chaka dies, And then Black Widow, she comes to him to comfort him, and he says, in my culture, when you die, that's only when you pass, to like another. I'm butchering it, but he's saying, this is only the beginning. You pass on to something else. And when I was watching the scene, I was like, holy shit, man, that's so.
Yo, I'm gonna use the bathroom. My bad, now.
All right, bro.
And I said,
A lot of people are putting that on tributes for sure, man. So yeah, no doubt about it.
and I said this last week when we talked about this, that I didn't know that he had made some other movies of significance, 42 and Marshall. I actually saw Marshall yesterday, and it was very good. It was the story of Thurgood Marshall, who ended up being a Supreme Court justice, the first Black Supreme Court justice. But what's so impressive about that guy, every major civil rights law or case that was ever won or even contested, that guy was the attorney. And he actually, I think his record against the Supreme Court was like 33-3 in major cases like Brown versus the Board of Education, which was on segregation. All these major cases, that guy pretty much was the attorney. And it talks about his life. I had never seen that movie. I saw it last night. Pretty damn good. I'm scheduled to see 42 also because I know about Jackie Robinson, but I hadn't seen that movie either.
Am I sharing right now, guys? Am I sharing the screen?
You are.
This is I want to say Spike Lee right here. This one. These are a couple ones that either came out or are coming out that he's also in that I wanna check out. It's a goddamn shame. We talked about it last week. That guy looked like a fucking excellent human being by all accounts and super talented actor. So rest in peace again.
Yes.
Okay, I've been trying to transition into the vaccine. If you guys heard anything about how they're trying to rush some of these vaccines through trials and maybe get them up to date before. There's even been some talk about some independent companies separate from the FDA reviewing them because of some government mistrust. And then there's even been talk about like we may need 2 doses. So I wanted to ask you guys, and Big G's back. Let me put him back on. The man in the middle, Big G. We're talking about the vaccine, dude. They're trying to rush it along. Are you guys getting vaccine? First of all, let me just ask that.
For me, I might, because just like the flu vaccine is very controversial. I work at a hospital, though, so it's kind of mandated. If I don't, I have to wear like a mask the whole time. I just gave in. I wasn't, but I'm like, fuck this. I'm not gonna be doing it. So I'm probably gonna do it if they do it. And I was in the military, so when I was overseas, they gave me the anthrax vaccine. They fucking shot me up with shit. I feel like for me, I've already been immune to shit like this. I think I'll be cool. So I'm not so nervous about it. But I don't debate with the people that like don't want to do the vaccine. It's understood. But for me, I'm put in a position. I think I would do it, and I feel like my body's fucking toxic already, so I'll be good.
Your body might reject the vaccine, dude.
Yeah, that's why mosquitoes don't bite me, bro.
You're in a different spot now. I just noticed. You moved.
Me?
You and the bum switched.
Yeah, I thought you did that.
Yeah, me.
No. It is random. Let me see.
Those again.
Yeah,
I feel better. I put you back there.
I feel like I'm at the end. It's all right.
Now you're back. How about you, Ogre? You getting the vaccine?
Dude, how effective do you really think that is, bro? That stuff hasn't been tested on anybody. It's just a stab in the dark, man. What will that thing actually do? Nobody knows, dude. It takes years.
Well, the regular flu vaccine is about 50% accurate, usually, or effective, should I say? So
yeah, But you're talking about a flu that's been around for 100 years. We're talking about another strain that's been around for 8 months, and we haven't really done any testing of any kind. And now there's a magical vaccine coming out.
But if you think about it, it's the same. It's in the same thing. So it's not that new. It's just a different one, but it's kind of like a flu, but like a crazier, like stronger one. But we're halfway there, so it wasn't too hard probably to get this vaccine. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think I typically get the flu vaccine just because well, my wife nags me. Aside from that, my kids get it. It's free through my insurance, whatever. I usually get it, but I think I may hold off on this one.
Yeah, you don't know.
Because it's been rushed so much, and not to get too political, but one thing that I was reading the other day was that this Trump supposedly, right, is kind of using this as what the term, I don't know if you guys have heard of October surprise, which is usually like something that you do just before an election to sway the election one way or another. And I've heard that his administration is trying to get the flu shot out before, or should I say the vaccine for corona out before the election. And there's a lot of people thinking that he's rushing to that, to do that, to time it to the election, so people say, oh, Trump, and it'll help his reelection. So there's a lot of talk around that. How true that is, I don't know. But
I believe that.
It's not crazy, right?
No, because they've done it before. We just didn't really pay attention. What happened to Zika, Ebola, swine, pig, like the flus, they come during the times that there's something important going on, but they make your eyes turn this way and you're paying attention and focusing scare tactics, and you're not really paying attention to the shit that's going on back, bills being passed, because we're worried about Zika virus. What happened? Like, they found a cure, or like it just died out? Like, we forgot because they just stopped showing it, and then we just forgot.
The other thing,
forever.
The other thing I read was that there's they're having a hard time getting African Americans to test this, and there's a long history, especially with African Americans and testing any kind of vaccine, going back to, I think, was it the Tuskegee testing, that they basically shot syphilis into African Americans and didn't tell them that they were doing that, and a bunch of them died and got sick and all that. So they've been having a tough time getting African Americans to sign up for the trial because of that history of
what's going on. They're not like on board with nothing. The government's trying to do all this shit.
And they, for real good testing, they have to get, a good cross section of the population, Latins, Asians, everything.
I'm with you. I think there's a political motivation that has me thinking I don't want to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Like I said, I only do it if the job's mandate, but I'm not gonna jump right away. Like, I want to see first. Like, you first, motherfucker. I want to see you drink it first, and I'll see. Okay, cool. You good? All right, then I'll probably do it. But
I don't know.
Getting it.
I'm thinking of that movie, I Am Legend, right?
I think about every movie when shit happens. I'm like, oh shit.
Everybody got turned into a vampire, zombie vampire, because of a cancer vaccine, right? It was supposed to make everybody immune to cancer, and it turned everybody into zombies. But obviously, that's a movie, but I'm sure there's people who think about things that could go wrong, right? Not zombies, but some variation, right?
Remember, movies is the things that make these scientists build shit, because they see Back to the Future, hoverboard, they see this, they see Tom Cruise with an iPad swiping, cars driving. Movies inspire the scientists, like, come on, build that. Same thing with stories. We think they're like fantasy. Like, this motherfucker is probably, he knew some motherfucker that heard this about that, and that's why he writes them, and it fabricates a little bit. But everything, I think, is like people that make movies. I make a movie is gonna be something that's real, based on some shit I experienced and saw. So I don't turn away too much from those movies, because, like, where does shit come from? Like, this motherfucker, this is really accurate, a pretty fucking clever idea. Like, you heard some shit before, like. So I always take that factor in. Like, some of this shit I've been paying attention. Like, yep, this is what people use. Like, because if you think about all science shit that we've had, technology from something that's on the move. Dick Tracy talking on the fucking phone. The Jetsons, we've been trying it, and then they're doing it. You feel me? Little by little.
My friend tells me a lot, and I'm kind of signing up for it. He says, dude, everything we see in these movies that at first when we see it seems kind of crazy and out there. It's almost like shit that prepares us for shit that's coming down the line. When you look at like Star Trek and their communicators, we talked about it, Bum. That's your flip phone that we had, that we had later, and just you look at all kind of shit technology that they show in a lot of movies, or just even fucking pandemic. You could see it in Contagion and some other movies.
Oh
And
my
you're
God!
like,
Yeah.
holy shit, man!
9/11, conspiracy, all that shit. Like, holy shit.
Have you guys seen that Contagion? I saw it for the first time. Somebody told me about it during the pandemic. Everybody was binge watching TV and shit. And I ended up watching that movie for the first time, man. And that thing was dead on with what some of the things that were happening with in this pandemic.
Well, look, we have a fucking pedophile ring being exposed. And like, that's some movie shit. Like, those celebrities and good shit selling kids. Like, what? This is happening? What the fuck is going on? Like, it's crazy. Some guy got hung and got killed, and we all know, and it's happening. Like, he didn't hang himself. Like, it's some movie shit. Somebody hit man that motherfucker. I'm like,
That's a movie. That's a movie.
Everything. Trump being president is a movie. Like, what season is this of Trump fucking president? Like, it's crazy. Like,
That's a movie too.
I can't believe it's really happening. This is really happening. This fucking idiots doing it. Like, oh my god! And then because he became president, the only good thing is that he exposed all the racists, came out of the woodworks, like fucking Trump and all these. Now I'm like, damn, I didn't even know there was that many. We just saw now. We learned like they're motherfuckers are everywhere, and they just came out. They were in the dark for a long time, and Trump. That's the only positive thing Trump brought.
Yeah, there's some people that think that they already made a movie about the Trump presidency. I think it's called Idiocracy or something like that.
Yeah, Idiocracy is a great fucking shit. We're going that way.
That's where we're headed, bro. We're headed there for real, dude.
Wally.
See that?
Wally.
I'm telling you, Wally, bro.
Dude, and not to get political, bro, did you see what they say he said about veterans? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I don't even pay attention, bro.
Dude,
That's
and
true. That's inexcusable, dude.
that's all right. Look, to tell you what he said, and this was confirmed by Fox News. Confirmed that he said it. He said that the people in the cemetery at the military cemetery are losers because they ended up dying.
This from a guy who hasn't gone.
Oh, he had a fake bone spur, and then he said that people who go to the military are suckers. That's what he said, and it's been confirmed by 4 media outlets. And I'm like, dude, how does he survive it? I don't know, man.
Because all it does, what's trending? Trump saying this, but it starts with Trump. Fuck Trump, but there's Trump in there, and he's viral, good or bad, and he's a TV guy. He knows that is what keeps him mixed. He knows how to work the TV show. So he knows he's pissing people off, but that's why everyone's tuning in to be like, because I want to see the stupid shit he said, but we watched 20 minutes of his speech because we want to see all the dumb shit he says, but we watched the whole fucking speech.
It's a car crash.
The real thing to do is don't even log in. But what do we do? Like, what? What do you say? Let me see. Oh my God, it's asshole. And then we repost it, and then we clip it, edit it, repost it. Trump. He's
It's a car crash. We got to look.
He's a fucking evil genius. Hold on, I got to somebody. They're ringing my.
Any press is good press, right? You know?
That's the old adage.
Let's switch up gears a little bit. I'll say this about the elections. I wish we had better fucking options.
I agree.
I just wish. It's fucked up. I said the same thing last time. It's fucked up that these are the best 2 options, and I think they're worse now, dude. They're worse now because you didn't know. Trump was like Josh Rosen last time. He hadn't really played yet. You didn't know. Now you know. I didn't really like Hillary. I don't really like Biden either. So Biden wasn't good enough last time. Why is he good enough now that he's older? So I just wish we had better options. That's like
It feels like we're choosing between vomit and diarrhea.
bloody diarrhea.
Crazy.
I'm gonna switch it up.
Switch it up.
You guys have anything else? I want to talk about Andre the Giant.
Badass.
I haven't seen that yet. Fuck.
You haven't seen it yet?
What is it?
It's old news. It's been out for a while. What's it called, Bum?
It's a HBO documentary on Andre the Giant. It's really good.
Wait. Is it like a year old? Because I saw something about a year ago.
I thought it was a little more older than that, but it may be about that old.
I think I've seen it.
It isn't brand
Years
new.
old. Yeah. But it's new to me, so I just want to talk about it real quick.
All right.
And I remember watching this dude WrestleMania 3, I think it was. But to me, it was that was the end of his career. But dude, it's crazy the career that the guy had, also in film, and the legendary drinker that he was,
That's
the
awesome.
legendary farter that he was.
Legendary quarter.
I haven't seen that documentary, but I watched some WrestleMania shit that talked about that. Like when he was getting sick and he couldn't move too much, and that's when they transitioned. Like, look, you're not gonna be the good guy no more. You're gonna come out and be the bad guy, and Hulk's gonna be the new champ. And he was feeling some type of way because he's always been the good guy, and then everyone hated him, and he was going through his own little depression and shit.
Yeah.
He was sick, and then that's when they transitioned. He was going through some bad shit.
That documentary, it's funny you mentioned that, Gio. The documentary touches on that, and it's funny. Go correct me if I'm wrong, because in the documentary they almost make it sound like when he's gonna fight Hulk Hogan and do that, what you just said, they weren't really sure 100% if he was gonna let Hulk Hogan win.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They said that Hulk Hogan was like, yo, usually we talk about it before the match. And he's like, all right, just go in there. And Hulk's like, I didn't know if this motherfucker was going to like not let me do this, because he's like, don't worry. We just go in there and just remember this. So Hulk Hogan was saying like, I didn't think he was going to let me do it.
Yeah.
I remember that documentary was awesome too. I want to watch that Andre the Giant shit. That's just interesting.
It was, and yeah, Hulk says it. Like, if that guy wasn't going to let himself be pinned, he wasn't going to be pinned. So he really like took one for the team. He took one for the company, and that was like the rise of Hulkamania, and that was my whole youth with WWF. You know, like that just made Hulk Hogan a fucking superhero, dude. That made WWF fucking, you know, that was in everybody's TV. Were you a wrestling fan at all, Older?
Oh, dude, big time. All the time. I was watching Saturday Night Main Event. Remember that?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Paul Orndorff in the steel cage. Remember that match with Hulk Hogan?
Dude, if this documentary is the one that I think you're talking about, it's the one where he gets the arthritis in his leg. They detail that, the end of his career, and how sad it ends, where he's in Japan and
the pain that he was in.
Yeah. I think the problem what happened, it was like the passing of the torch, but to him it didn't feel that way because he transitioned to the villain. He would get booed, and he was never used to that. Plus, he was going through his shit. He said it affected him big time because it was like hard for him to. And he did it for the. He knew it was for the company and shit, but it was like fucking with him personally.
What I didn't know is, man, the guy drank like no one ever. He would drink like a case of wine, a case of beer.
You're that big motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, that legendary.
Kind of self-medicating too. The reason why he did that.
In the end, there was more because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I didn't realize is the difficulty that guy had, like on an airplane.
Yeah.
You know, he couldn't even get into the bathroom. Like they had to give him a bucket and some curtains, and he had to go relieve himself, and then they would take the bucket into the bathroom and dump it. And like,
fucked up, man.
Beds were always too small for him. Chairs were always too small for him.
Yes, but they
over
also
7 feet, 500 pounds.
But they also talk about the good side, right? this old guy there talking about, dude, that guy, there were women lining up to find out if everything was as big as Andre the Giant. If everything was big for Andre the Giant, he had women that really wanted to know what was up with Andre the Giant.
I'm sure some of them regretted it later.
Possibly. But they were saying the guy hooked up as ugly. Dude, that guy's a monster looking. I mean, he looks like a true giant.
But what Hollywood has shown us, zeros.
The women were lined up.
The more zeros in your bank account, the cuter you get.
They wanted to know if he was a giant all the way around, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Hey, if you have Hulu, check out. There's Dark Secrets of the Ring, and season 1, episode 1 is about Macho Man Randy Savage. Dude, it is worth a watch.
Let me tell you something, brother.
That dude, off screen, lived exactly like he did on screen in the 80s. The paranoia with Miss Elizabeth, man, it was all real, dude.
You know what's dope that I liked in the documentary? They talk about Jake the Snake, and they were always like, that motherfucker would never work out, train. He'd just be smoking a cigarette. They're like, yo, you're up. You just come out, throw on a cigarette, walk out there. Just the way he looked, and just put the snake on and go out there and fight.
Dude, there was some good deals. You had the $1 Million Man who he just came out. He put $100 bill in your mouth when he beat you.
Yeah. No one liked Ultimate Warrior. He was too rough. He would hit people for real. They're like, this motherfucker always be hitting niggas hard.
Yeah, when I started to watch wrestling, like they were not as like into working out. They were more drinking and smoking. There were like a lot of fat guys, you know, Jake the Snake,
Dusty
Rhodes, Harley Race, all of those guys. They were eventually they became all the bad guys that turned like, you know, WWF and all of that stuff that you guys watch. Those guys were like the bad guys there.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, and then you had the freaks of nature show up, like Rick Rude. Remember Rick Rude?
Ravishing Rick Rude.
You guys ever seen this? When Jake the Snake stuck a cobra onto Macho Man's bicep?
Yeah.
They talked about that in that episode, by the way. They explained.
Yeah.
He tells him, man, I need you to have that snake bite me. Have that snake bite me, but is it dangerous? He's like, no, it's fine. He had clipped off the fangs, and that's how they made it happen. But they had agreed upon it. They did a test run. Before the match, they did a test run where Jake the Snake had the snake bite Macho Man before the match. So that's actually the second time he gets bit in that episode, on the ring.
No venom, but still, I wouldn't want a fucking snake chop down on my bicep.
It was blood, though, right?
No, they still have teeth, man.
Yeah, it's the they defang them from the poison shit.
Yeah, that still hurts, man.
Yeah, they defang or they take the venom out.
Yes, they take the venom out. And that guy
They have an actual snake handler next to me. That's why he's like, no, they take the venom. I'm like, all right. He actually.
I know who that is. What's his name?
Alex.
Yeah. I know he knows. He's up on his snake shit for sure. But Jake the Snake was he became a fucking alcoholic, a drug addict, and he was able to bounce back from all that shit. Who helped him? Diamond Dallas Page. I don't know if you guys know who.
Yeah, Diamond Dallas. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he helped him rehabilitate himself, and he kind of became, you know, came back to reality. But that guy was fucking lost, dude, for a while.
It's like Razor Ramon. That's shit. Same thing happened to Razor Ramon.
Then there were the first families of wrestling, the Folks, the Von Erichs. Yeah, that was a great time, man.
The Von Erichs were fucking cursed. What's the name of that show again, Over?
Dark Secrets of the Ring on Hulu.
They have one on the Von Erichs, right?
Yeah, it's like episode 4.
I think every episode has a certain.
Yeah. They have Fabulous Moolah. You have
and the Wyndhams too.
Oh, you have the Montreal Screwjob. They do an entire thing on that. But they go in depth. That thing was great.
The one with the Fabulous Moolah was fucked up, dude, because I never had heard about that shit. She was like a fucking pimp, dude. She would bring in the women wrestlers, and she would be a booker. So she would book the matches, who gets on the main event and all this shit. And if you wanted to move up the ranks, she would pimp you out to dudes to go fuck them and shit. And if you go and you fuck, whoever, you're gonna be on the main event. She was like, and you would see the fabulous Moolah, and you would like, oh, sweet old lady. She was fucking brutal, dude. She was pimping these chicks out, dude. Fucked up, man. That's the most fucked up episode of all the ones I watched was hers.
Yo, on the wrestling tip, when I was at the con, I had my fuck Trump drawing, and I was saying that, and then some guy walked by, he's like, I know the guy. He's a pretty good guy, actually. He's a Hall of Famer, and it was fucking Jerry the King Lawler. He's talking to me. Now, I didn't realize that he had like a goatee, and I was like,
holy shit.
He's like, that's funny, though. And he walked away. I was like, oh, yeah, that's dope. He didn't get mad. Most people like loved it, but there was like a couple that looked like, they'll shake their head. Like,
did you say Jerry Lawler?
Jerry the King Lawler was there, but he happened to be walking by, but I didn't recognize him. And I had a fuck Trump drawing. It's Batman punching Trump. And he walked by. He's like, that's pretty funny. He's like, I know the guy. He's a WWE Hall of Famer. I'm like, oh, no shit. I'm like, it's just one of my drawings, man. Like, I don't think, I'm like, I don't give a shit. He's like, no. I'm like, it's funny, though. And he walked away.
This guy was also involved with one of the more famous. This guy body slammed Andy Kaufman. The comedian.
Beat hard. He even got into a little small beat with Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey, when he fucking went into that role, he did some spiritual shit. Yeah. He literally stayed in character, and he was having problems with Jim Carrey because he was staying in Andy Kaufman like character the whole time. Yeah. And he had a real beef with this thing. He's like, "What's wrong with this motherfucker? Like, we're just filming a movie, and he's doing it all over again, like taking it for real." He was one of the greatest commentators. Him and what's the cowboy motherfucker that had the stroke? Fucking
Jim Ross.
Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. I mean, obviously the '80s was also dope with Heenan and all these motherfuckers, but
Gordon Soley. A lot of people remember Gordon Soley.
That was my
Gorilla Monsoon or fucking.
It was
Gorilla Monsoon. Love him too.
Gorilla Monsoon, Bruno San Martino,
or
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yes.
What about what's his Mean Gene Oakland? No.
Yes.
But Jerry the King and this guy,
dead, right? All of them died, right?
I'm not sure, but Jerry and this motherfucker had a good little like they were like the new era, like when wrestling started adding some curse words, suck it and Stone Cold, like when it became like, oh shit, like I'm 16, I can watch wrestling again because this shit's crazy. They got bitches and they're talking about suck it, and I'm like, wrestling's cool again and shit. And that's when Ross and Lawler were killing it. They were like
that was the best time, dude. The Attitude Era.
They revived wrestling again because it's died.
Chicks were showing their titties and shit and like fucking bad words.
I was like, yo, suck it. I was like a little kid, like, yo, suck it.
Drinking beer. It was just that was a good time. All right, real quick, I'm gonna go around the board. Top 3 favorite wrestlers of all time, because obviously everybody's kind of ogre. You first. Put you on the spot.
Macho Man for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Dude, you catch me off guard here. Hold on, because
that's a tough one.
No, that one's easy for me, man. I always liked Rick Rude, dude. Rick Rude was cool. And I'm gonna think about third, but he died in '99, though, man. That was
enlarged heart, which is a common thing that a lot of these guys die of.
Of what?
Enlarged heart.
Oh yeah, because of the steroids, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta say for third, I love the NWO fucking version of Hulk that was in that era. Hollywood Hogan. I thought that was so fucking cool. That whole backstory, the renegade group breaking into the established, organization. I thought that shit was fucking dope.
Am I sharing the screen right there, guys?
Yeah.
Dude, that whole era was cool.
You're up, dude. What was your top 3?
That was cool.
Who's top 3? Mine?
Yeah.
Shit. Originally it wasn't, but this became my number 1. Stone Cold was my number 1. And Ultimate Warrior was like my 90s, 80s shit. And then I've always liked fucking The Undertaker.
Pretty fucking solid. All right. And to take it to the old school, Bum. I'm gonna guess. I've heard you talk about this guy, Mr. Wrestling #2. Was that one of your top dudes?
Absolutely, Mr. Wrestling #2. This is for the old people.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Butch, Hacksaw Reed and Dusty Rhodes. I guess those were my three.
Hacksaw Duggan, you said?
No, Reed.
Butch,
Hacksaw Reed.
Hacksaw Reed.
Which this guy later was. Who was he later? Later he had a different name, I think.
Yes, the
Unemployed?
Natural.
he was. He did a lot of tag teams with Sweet Brown Sugar, and then I think he became part of the Natural. There it is.
That was his later gimmick.
Yes. But these guys were awesome in the old days, man. When Gordon Soley was the announcer just by himself, it was called Florida Championship Wrestling, and it was great, man. Absolutely great.
But that's tough because I have like my top 3 in different eras because I love Ric Flair, fucking the Road Warriors, Sting, but then I like, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Bret. I like Bret Hart, old version, when he was evil, and then when he became like the champion, he was the good guy. I like that Bret Hart too. Like when he became solo, when he left the Hart Foundation. I like that era of Bret Hart when they fucked him over for the belt and they gave it to Shawn Michaels, I think.
Yeah.
Good job. That's an episode in that
Yeah, it was
street.
great. He was pissed. He was
Ogre was
pissed.
talking about.
Great episode.
Yeah, the big villain during my time was J.J. Dillon with that stable of Kendo Nagasaki and Kabuki, all of those guys.
The
That
Four
was
Horsemen was fucking awesome too. Where you had like maybe the premier guy in the NWA/WCW, whatever, Ric Flair. But then you also had the premier stable around him: Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Kevin Sullivan, or who was the other guy from the Four Horsemen?
Funk.
It was Blackjack Sullivan or Black.
No, it was Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, fucking
Tully Blanchard.
God damn, how we not remember the Horsemen though?
The Four Horsemen was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and it was a brother. The other one was a brother. Jesus.
All I know is Road Warriors were my motherfucking. They were still like jumping off the fucking high high level matches. They were really fucking hurting themselves. They had real spikes, not the rubber shit at that time. They had real metal spikes.
Man, I think it's Terry Funk.
The Hardy Boys were good, but they were like the 2000 late
Barry
90s.
Windham.
Barry Windham later joined, but he was not an original member. Ollie and Arn Anderson. So Ollie Anderson, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard with Ric Flair.
What was that team called when Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan were like a tag team, but they had masks on, and then
Andre the Giant was like the Mean Machine or some shit like that. I forget the name.
Remember he had a mask on, and he revealed like, "Oh shit, it's Andre the Giant."
Yeah, they also did like the superpowers. I think was like Hulk and Ultimate Warrior for a little while. So
It was the mega powers.
the Mega Powers.
It was Randy Macho Man and Hulk Hogan.
Yo, what about Roddy Piper? That was a bad team.
Yeah,
Jimmy Superfly Snuka was dope too.
he killed his wife. I think later. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
From the top turnbuckle, or
Probably. Probably.
By the way, did you guys
Animal?
see that movie? Mickey Rourke, the wrestler.
Great movie.
Great movie.
That's probably how it is.
Yes.
For sure.
I'll tell you, I went one day to, I was driving to Naples, and they have an arena on the right-hand side. I forget the name of the arena right now. And we were just driving, and it said, at the time I was kind of into wrestling, and it said, live wrestling tonight. And I go, hey, babe, you want to stop? We'll just stop right there. So we stopped, we went in the arena, we watched the show, and then afterwards I'm like, you want to go get a bite to eat? We went to Denny's, And at Denny's was like Carlito. I don't know if anybody remembers him with the apple. Lita, she used to go out with one of the Hardy Boys. And I'm like, that's when it really hit me. Like, dude, these guys are just getting their meal right here at Denny's, right next door after the match. They got into their own cars, probably driving to Orlando or Miami.
Hard life, man.
Celebrities want to do like they want to do regular shit, and that's like awesome for them because they don't get the opportunity. It's like they want to just do shit like that because they can't, and that's why they do that shit because it's like that's the shit they can't do no more. You feel me? So it's crazy. They just want to go shopping at Walmart without a mob, just to chill. I want to go to Denny's like I used to. You can't do that no more. Like, you gotta sneak in.
That scene of Mickey Rourke working the deli with the potato salad and the old lady, I thought that was so cool.
It's so real, dog.
Yeah.
And then we see documentaries and they show you how fucked up these guys get, and they're like, I'm doing shit now. Plus, they weren't getting money back then. They weren't getting paid like they get paid now.
And
now
still,
they're smart now. It's like the Don King era of boxing. Now the new fucking Golden Boy, they pay motherfuckers because they're fighters. The wrestlers started doing shit, and like the NFL, NBA, they're starting to make their own organizations and have like stand against getting robbed and shit. Comics did the same shit. McFarlane, all them quit because they were getting paid, and they started a new way of comic people getting paid.
Dude, and people got involved in all sorts of shit. You remember Dino Bravo?
Hell yeah.
Dino Bravo got hit by the mob. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they did a execution style on him. He was involved in some shit.
Holy shit. Hey, real quick, sponsor of the show real quick here, Man of Action Figures. You can go check out manofactionfigures.com. You can go, this is some of our new pre-orders that we just posted. You can go check out the store here in South Florida, 27551 South 60 Highway. There's a YouTube channel too for Man of Action Figures. It's just Man of Action Figures. It'll show you all the new stuff we just got in. So if you're in the market for some collectibles or gifts, check it out.
Yo, and even if you're not into collectibles, that shit's dope. They got everything, man. Go.
Yeah, go check it out, man.
I think firsthand. I didn't know half this world existed. I went there.
yeah.
And I became collectible. It's awesome. Even if you don't like that shit, they have some shit that you don't even know they had shit for.
There's something for everybody. For sure.
Yeah. Like I'm telling you, I didn't know they have football figures, fucking basketball figures. They got goddamn TV shows, and I was blown away. Like that company, Greenlight, when I found out they make cars, like you want a 1997 Ford F-150, like they have that, like for real. Yeah, you want the fucking Camaro from this movie? You want the goddamn trailer from Walking Down? Like they have that a company that does that. Like that's crazy. Go check out that store, everybody. That shit's dope.
Oh, and by the way,
Tony Montana, goddammit.
if you guys need any logos, shirts, design, Gian Piero, you can find them on Instagram, Gian Piero, and hit him up, dude. I do my shirts, all my logos, all my stuff for my show, for my store through him. So you're going on a trip to Disney, you want to get those shirts for the whole family or for your company, hit him up. He'll
somebody to talk to, you can call me too, guys. I'm down.
Yeah, I'll put all your info in the bottom of the video down there. What else did I want to talk about, dude? David Blaine Ascension. I have it on the screen right there. Anybody heard about that shit or saw that shit?
Yeah, he did the Up shit. He did what movie Up. Balloons. Fucking took off.
Dude, my man.
36 helium balloons or 50? How many balloons?
I don't know how many balloons, but I know he went 24,000 feet in the air, dude.
That's crazy, man.
Which is basically like where airplanes fly.
That's like Mount Everest material.
Maybe it was a jetpack guy that the airplane guy saw.
He went up there in the desert and then parachuted down from about 25,000 feet, which is fucking insane, dude.
Pretty nuts. He's a weird dude.
He is. But they got some great fucking pictures like this one. while he was doing the stunt?
You're not sharing.
I'm just saying that. I just saw you three guys like, wow, you guys were there.
Sorry, guys, you should have told me. I've had a little too much to drink.
So that's literally freaking up.
Score.
Yes.
Let me go back to that one. I wanted to show you that one.
That's dope.
Incredible.
See, movies inspire shit, I'm telling you.
For real.
That's dope. That's pretty
I
dope.
was talking to the bum about this guy earlier. He's more like, he's not like a Copperfield guy. He's more like a Houdini or like test of strength. Or,
Yeah, because I was in Venice Beach one day and he happened to be there and they was like, hey, you can't be recorded, you can't do it. I'm like, why? If he's a fucking magician, you don't have to be worried about other shit. Like, why can't we record type shit? Like, so like ever since then, I've been always like, he's kind of like always on TV doing shit. I don't know. But he does crazy shit like this. It's not special effects, or he fucking buries himself, or he does other stupid shit. It's not magic. It's just you're crazy as fuck. Fear factor.
yeah, he did that one where he was frozen.
None of that shit's magic. That all the famous shit he gets famous for is like the non-magic shit. Like I'm gonna bury myself. I'm gonna not eat for fucking 3 days in goddamn glass. Like that's not magic, nigga. You just doing stupid shit.
Joe Rogan put a fucking
Yeah, I remember that.
pick through his bicep recently.
A what?
An ice pick.
Yeah, but if I take like morphine right before I get on set and then just like, yo, stab me out for shit right now. That's how easy you can do that. You feel me? Like, yo, inject me right now with anesthesia. You can do whatever the fuck you want, and in an hour it'll come back and it's gonna hurt. But
I want to know if you took morphine now.
not magic. It's just crazy. It's like Johnny Knoxville shit. Well, he does do cool card magic shit. But
He's good, man.
the shit he's famous for is like the non-magic. It's like I'm gonna lock myself in. I'm gonna hold my breath for 2 hours. Like, hey, man, he's just crazy.
That's one of his things, holding his breath for like a super long time. And he says if he were here, he would say, I could teach you. Like, I don't know. I don't know how long. I couldn't hold my breath that long. Maybe 30 seconds. But if he were here, he would tell you, I could teach you real fast how to hold your breath for 3 minutes.
Does he have the record?
I don't know, but Houdini used to do it for 3 minutes, and he could do like.
He's like, for a long time. He can hold his breath for a long time.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, you can teach like that. Like how? How can you do that? That's like saying like it's like when the basketball guy like, oh, it's easy because you just took your wrist. Like, yeah, you make it actually easy. It's not that fucking easy.
is the Guinness. What's the Guinness World Record on that? I think it's like 10 minutes, man.
It's
You know how long
22 minutes and 22 seconds.
Wow.
God damn. See, magician. He could just be like, I'm a magician too.
That's underwater?
Yeah,
I think
I was underwater.
Yeah.
Y'all ever seen the movie Hot Rod when he's like a stunt man? He does like some drills, like he tries to do crazy stunts, and they hold him underwater and motherfucker drowns and shit. Who's that? That's good.
22 minutes.
What's his name? Stig Severinsen?
Stig Severinsen. What this guy says that you have to do, if I remember correctly, is you have to go, you take in, and then like you purge. Out. In, out. So like you kind of like, you get rid of, I'm fucking butchering this.
I wonder if that works for smoking.
Probably. You get high as shit if you do it that way. But you let out like bad air and you're bringing good air or some shit like that, and then you could hold your breath longer or something like that. Is basically
I know it's possible though. Like me in the dental field, I had a lady who was gonna pull her tooth out and do a bone graft. Basically, when you pull a tooth out, there's a hole, and you gotta drill the shit out of there. Then you pack it with bone and you stitch it. So when she sits down, I'm like, all right, the doctor's coming in soon. We're gonna numb you up. She's like, no, I don't want anesthesia. I'm like, no, we're gonna pull your fucking teeth out. You're gonna need it. She's like, I know, no. I'm like, I'll be right back. I go to the doctor. I'm like, yo, she don't want anesthesia. She's like, she knows what we're doing. I'm like, I told that bitch twice. She's like, all right, I'm on my way over there. So if he comes, tells her the same shit. She says the same answer. We're like, oh. So we're looking at each other like, this bitch is gonna jump to the ceiling the moment we fucking slice it. So we gotta slice the thing, open the gum, grab the tooth, clean out with a drill inside the socket and pack bone and sew it back. That bitch didn't flinch, didn't move, no anesthesia. We were sweating more than this bitch. The
Wow.
only thing she did her fingers like one time was like that, and that's it. No anesthesia. I don't know what the fuck. So I couldn't.
Put in the sack.
I need just anesthesia listening to that story.
I'm saying, like me, I watched the shit and like, bro, like this is gonna hurt, bitch. Like, we didn't flinch. It's crazy. So I believe shit like that. Like people can do crazy shit with their body, bro.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mind doesn't matter.
Huh? Yeah, mine doesn't matter. That's why the motherfuckers that walk on coal, lay on nails, and they're on that shit.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it firsthand. That's why I'm like, hey, I've seen human shit do crazy shit. So crazy.
Subject real quick here, guys. Urban legends. I just want to see if I know the Bum and Ogre we kind of grew up in the same area, Hialeah area. You are down south, right, Gio? Always.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you remember any like urban legends that you used to hear as a kid? Shit people would talk about that you didn't know if it was necessarily real or not, or maybe just not you, anybody.
As far as like scary shit, or as far as just in like reality, like shit going on, like
No, anything. It could be fucking Bloody Mary or fucking.
hell yeah, a whole bunch of that shit. Or it's just as simple as far as like, no, I got some hueca, your face is gonna get stuck like that. Don't swallow gum, your fucking guts are gonna get stuck together. Like, bitch, I swallow every piece of gum like 20 years.
Don't go in the pool 30 minutes after eating.
Don't come out in the cold, you're gonna fucking have like get stuck, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in that sense, and also the scary shit. You feel like I think my cousins that I used to tell them like the duen, like if you're like they don't like ugly girls, they'll be doing like trying to scare us with shit. You feel me? Like, yeah. So pretty much, yeah. You know, all Hispanics go through that shit. We have so much fake ass shit. They be like, that's not true, bitch.
You guys ever heard the Bloody Mary one?
Yeah, I heard that one.
You would go in the bathroom and say it 7 times or some shit.
And some woman would appear behind you in the mirror or something like that.
I've been dying to see some shit like that.
Anybody ever try it? Tell the truth now. We were kids.
I know. I think I may have tried some of that.
I tried it.
I've tried Ouija.
Ouija. There was a Ouija event there. The big thing when I was growing up was the Biltmore Hotel. That was like the big thing, and the big prize there was to sneak in. That, by the way, that hotel is fully operational now. But when I was growing up, it was closed down, and a lot of people would try to sneak in. And the idea was to climb the tower all the way to the top. And supposedly, the place was haunted. Right? It was a hotel originally, but then it became a mental institution during the war. Then it became a morgue during the war. And supposedly it was haunted, and it had a big, history behind it. I think there was a gangster that was shot there, like a huge story. It was kind of like the Overlook Hotel in The Shining, right? But the big thing growing up was sneaking into that hotel and then trying to climb to the top.
Was it completely abandoned at that point?
It was. It was completely abandoned, boarded up. There would be cops that would go around. And it was like a big thing to try to get in there and climb to the top.
Now, you could go stay at the Biltmore right now.
It's funny because years later, in 1986, my sister got married there. That's where her
guys.
I think I've been there before. Yeah, I went to some kind of party there.
My sister actually got married and had her reception there.
I've been there.
It was really crazy.
Is this on the screen?
Yeah.
All right. So you could go stay there right now.
Yes. After years of it being closed down in
it looks like some place you can go stay at so far. Scary, haunted, abandoned shit picture yet. So I think it's functional. Because if that's abandoned, I'll be there every day. That's true.
But like You know what was one we would hear about all the time, dude? Richard Gere and sticking some gerbil up his ass. You guys ever heard that one?
Yeah, I think it's true. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, but we
Or
all know that
Marilyn
story,
Manson
right?
removed the rib to suck his own dick. Is that a real thing too?
Who?
Marilyn Manson removed the rib so he could suck his own dick. You ever heard of that?
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me. But the Richard Gere one, I think like almost everybody who grew up in the 80s heard of that shit. Yet where did that come out? In the Inquirer, maybe?
I don't know.
That's some
But
freaking.
then it became like something that was like that came out about that there was a whole following of people that would basically shove gerbils up their ass. That was like a big thing. And it was more. I always heard it with Hollywood people. It was never like I never heard Tommy down the street shoving a gerbil up his ass. It was
Rich
always,
people are the ones who do the crazy shit.
it was always like a famous thing.
Juan se metió un gerbil en culo, ¿verdad? ¿Qué pasó?
That.
You never hear that.
It was always like a movie star. That, so and so went to the emergency room and had like a gerbil in his ass.
Because they start partying with these rich, crazy, weird mother swingers and fucking. They start wearing dresses and it's designer. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Now I have heard that emergency
level, right? In Hollywood, they're like, that's it. It's not normal just to bang a hot chick. Now I gotta stick a gerbil up my ass while I'm, it's like they're always fucking
trying to take it another level.
They gotta do some crazier shit all the time, dude. That's
Generation X. I'm telling you, dog, they're gonna change
They do the whole asphyxiation thing.
Yeah.
Oh, remember the guy from In Excess died?
Yes.
And supposedly the Kill Bill died too.
David Carradine.
Yeah, David. Yeah, he died with that whole thing.
Yeah.
They found him in the closet, being like.
Yeah. And the guy from In Excess are kind of the notable people, at least that I know, that died from that.
Probably the top two.
Yes.
People.
What is that called? Auto asphyxiation or something? Or
yeah. So as you're climaxing, I don't know if you do it to yourself or you ask the other person to do it, and you like choke yourself or have them choke you while you're fucking.
You know what's like? So how does that get started? So somebody realizes that when they hang somebody, like for a crime, that the first thing they do is they piss, cum, and crap themselves. So somebody goes, wow, maybe we could do that, but before you die, I'll stop.
Like, I don't know, man. That sounds like a good Saturday night.
I mean, a lot of those things probably happen by accident, right? Like, holy shit, like fucking.
Who's the guy sitting around thinking, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll just stop it before you actually die, and we'll just come piss and crap all at the same time.
Well, yeah. the whole problem is that there isn't someone there to stop you from alone, right? They died by themselves.
Safe word. You got to have a safe word is what I hear all the time. Yeah. But, I mean, a lot of shit probably happens by accident, like drugs people take, and shit like that probably is all an accident, like they just fucking stumble upon it, Who knows? Probably somebody just fucking choked somebody one day and like, holy shit, that felt really good to almost die and come, but didn't really fucking die, and I did come, and then probably they just gotta take it a step further, hold it a little bit more, oh, now I fucking died.
I remember in middle school, there were people that would faint themselves.
Maim?
Faint. Like,
oh, yes.
They would. I remember this, seeing it. There was a couple times, like people in the bathroom actually doing this. They would kneel down. They would take like a bunch of sudden breaths, like. Then they would stand up, and somebody would push on their chest, and then they would just fall to the ground, and that was like a big deal. I'm like, what is the pleasure of that? I mean,
what's the name of that? Do you remember the name that they gave that?
I don't remember it having a name. Maybe that was later in your time where they got sophisticated with it, but it was like a big thing. It was like fainting yourself. Like, what the
Over.
hell?
Do you remember this at all?
No, I don't. It
Okay.
doesn't ring a bell.
Hialeah Jr. circa 1990. I don't remember where this came from, but it came in out of nowhere, and people were kneeling down, and they were crossing their hands.
Yes. Yes.
You would take a bunch of breaths, and then like a bigger person, kind of a big burly guy, whoever the big burly guy was in the group, he'd grab you and he would pick you up and he would press kind of on your chest, and by the time he let go of you, if they didn't catch you, you would fall. You were knocked out. It would just cut off the circulation, I guess, of air to your brain, oxygen.
Yeah.
California Dreams was the word that they gave to it, and then you'd be on the floor, and you'd have to slap the shit at the people so they could snap out of it. And you just brought that memory back. I hadn't thought about that for a long time, and I remember that.
Yeah.
California Dreams.
Happened at Palm Springs Junior High in Hialeah. It may have been a Hialeah thing.
Dude, now that you described it like that, I remember something like that.
Yeah.
Hialeah Junior for me.
I remember a guy that they did it to, and he was kind of a tall, lanky guy. Man, that guy fell like perfectly like this without bending or anything, and he just bounced on the ground when he hit to the side. And usually, like the GOAT said, you would have to try to shake these people to revive them. This guy fell, bounced on the ground, and then woke up on his own, like crying, like it was like horrific, but it was a big thing. I don't get it, but I saw people do that a lot in middle school.
Yeah, crazy how those little trends catch on. It came out of nowhere. I don't know where it came from, and then all of a sudden, like everybody was doing it, and it was just like a fucking major a thing. California Dreams. I'll never forget about it.
I never knew it had a name, but then again, we were doing it probably about almost 20 years just before you. So maybe 10. Yeah, you said 1990. I'm talking 1982.
So you were the original. You were the fourth one.
Years.
Any other? I mean, that's not an urban legend. I don't know how we got on that one, but like any other urban legends you guys remember about? Here's one thing, not an urban legend, but at one point I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and we kind of started going out with two chicks that were friends. So we had that kind of dynamic of, me and him were friends and they were friends. So
that's a good dynamic.
Yeah, we would go in the same car and visit them and do shit together and watch movies. I don't know what movies we were watching. We were like in a Ouija board, cemetery fucking vibe. And we decided, let's go to a cemetery at night. For whatever reason. I don't know what we thought we were going to fucking find, but we just wanted to go at night. It was a really nice cemetery in Coral Gables area, I want to say, something like that. And we went and we were walking around, and then the cops ended up coming and busting our ass we were basically trespassing at night because they had a mausoleum. Is it what you call when you go in? It's like a building that has the dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went into there. We didn't break anything, but we walked into there. Apparently, other people had been breaking into there and spray painting, so they kind of like just pinned it on us. And my sister knows all about this. She got me out of this fucking jam in that time. I don't know why I'm telling this story. I don't know.
Urban legend?
Yeah, it wasn't really an urban legend, but we got into like going to the cemetery and fucking. Did you guys ever get into any of those phases where you wanted to go to the cemetery I think I was watching The Exorcist at the time, and I don't know. I was feeling frisky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. I did that several times, man. I went to cemeteries a couple.
Which one?
There's one by a highway. I forget where it is. It's like it's in Kendall, but Miami Memorial. That's what it is. Miami Memorial. We went into Miami Memorial a couple times.
Is that the one on Red Road?
I think so.
Isn't that the big one that they
It's
call
really
it?
big.
Like,
It's really
like
big.
Akila or something?
Opalak, right? Area?
No. It's not that far. It's not that far. It's closer to Kendall. But this was like 90s, dude. I went there just with a tape recorder and the whole thing, trying to see if I can catch stuff. And I've always been into that shit. But as far as urban legends, I was talking about one today. How about the one of the evil eye with kids in Latin families? They give you that little thing that you wear that's supposed to take away the evil eye from your children.
El azabache.
Something like that.
The black rock you would wear.
It's like
Right. The little thing, and you
Oh,
put it in kids.
yeah. I think I had one of those as soon as I could remember. It was like pinned onto all my clothes. I remember when I was,
If you don't get one, you're given one.
yes, exactly.
And it broke. And when it broke, my mom was like, "Oh my God, they put a fucking hex on you. That's why it broke. You're lucky you had that. If you didn't have that, you would have
Right.
been."
You absorbed it. You absorbed that thing. Absorbed that.
Yeah, it broke because it stopped.
What are you gonna call it? Right.
It stopped the hex or la santeria or
Yeah.
la brujeria or whatever the fuck that shit was, dude.
The only other urban legend that I kind of remember now also too was the one about flashing your head. Like if somebody flashed their headlights at you, like a certain amount of time, and you flashed them back, they would follow you and kill you or some shit like that. Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah, I
I
remember
heard
that one.
something about that, but I don't know the whole story.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the details, but it was something about somebody would flash their lights at you in a certain way. I don't know if it was 2 times or 3 times, and then if you would do it back, they would U-turn, follow you, and like kill you or some shit like that.
Guys, thanks for anybody who's watching out there or sees it on the replay. Thank you guys for being on with me. Ogre, Bum, any finishing thoughts or anything? We've been going on for like 2 hours already. Anything, any parting shots?
I just wanted to say that I'm being sponsored by McAllen.
Oh, yeah, that's a good sponsor, dude.
So I am cooked and baked, ready to go.
Oh, yeah. Ogre?
I'm just excited about the football season and the Heat being in the finals is like a Christmas present to me.
Wow, whoa. Don't get ahead of yourself there. Slow down. We're gonna get there.
Let me say that the Heat possibly being in the finals, potentially, is like a Christmas present.
Ogre, stay on for the post game for a second after we go. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you can. Check out manofactionfigures.com. And I'm going to leave you with it. This is my exit music for the day. Thank you to Gio. Jonas was on for like 2 seconds. I'll thank him too. Fuck it. And we'll see you next Saturday, man. I'm going to try to do it next Saturday again. It's been fun, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one.
A legend right here. I wanted to ask you later, Bum, what happened to the rest of the doors, but we'll do that on another episode when this dude died. This song takes a long time to start. All right. Good night, everybody.